Introducing Paddy Power's Beat the Drop. We're giving every customer 30 days free entry and £1,000 up front. It's up to you to keep it. All you have to do is answer 10 questions correctly. Play now at beatthedrop.paddypower.com.
Hello there, welcome along golf fans. It's the Racing Post, Golf Postcast. I'm Bruce Millington, and joining me as always, Steve Palmer and Paddy Powers. In McLaughlin, we'll look back on an eventful week and we will look ahead to two superb tournaments. We've got the CJ Cup in South Korea with a stellar field, some of the big names of American and world golf in that. And then over in southern Spain, beautiful Valderrama hosts the Andalucia Valderrama Masters down in Sotogrande. We've got a very warm favourite. To my untrained eye, looks terrible value, but I will be interested to see what the lads think. First of all, though, let's look back on last weekend. The US Tour was over in Asia for the CIMB, or CIMB Classic, which Mark Leishman won by half the track. And then over at beautiful Walton Heath, we had Eddie Pepperell leading, not quite from pillar to post, but from halfway to post for sure. Good results for the book, Ian?
Yes, two good results in the end. Leishman was unfound in the market in the CIMB, and Pepperell was kind of middle of the road. Matt Wallace, Matt Fitzpatrick and Tommy Fleetwood are kind of the ones we were trying to avoid. So yeah, good week overall. Jolly
good, Steve. Not much fun for you or indeed your followers, was it?
No, it was a dismal week. I mean, I did my absolutes and didn't enjoy any of it. I mean, looking back, they're both quite gettable, I suppose. I mean, Leishman, the last time he played there, finished fifth, and Pepperell, you know, he's obviously had a great year. I was put off by injury and illness. He had a little wrist problem at the end of the summer, and then
beware the injured golfer, Steve. How many times?
Certainly beware the golfer who's attached to Frilford Heath, because they don't play much heathland golf, do they? And Eddie Pepperell's home course is Frilford Heath, so I think he was more comfortable in the conditions than most. I'm sort of kicking myself for not putting him higher up my list, but
he had a bit of luck though, Steve, didn't he? Aced the 9th, I think, on the first day, and then he chipped in on the last day.
Well, this is it. No, I mean, it looked like the Lord was on his side, didn't he? Everything he was touching was turning to gold. So, well, that's golf, isn't it? But no, a very, very expensive week for me.
Oh well, we'll bounce back. Ian, did you see much of the action at Walton Heath? I was there on the Saturday. I've got to say, I had the time of my life. It was absolutely marvellous. But then Sunday was horrific, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was in trading all 4 days, yes. I didn't miss a shot. It's a great golf course. Like, it's one of my favourite events so far in terms of the golf course, hosting it. Like, Sunday was a real attritional battle, and Pepperell, like that hole out eagle, I think it was on the 12th hole, really kind of got him over the line, because he was starting to kind of leak a bit of oil with Bjork hot on his tail. But yeah, he was solid enough in the end to get it done.
Well, you're going to come over and see us one day, aren't you, Ian? And when you do, we're going to play Walton Heath, because we can get you in there. How's that?
Fantastic. That's brilliant.
Jolly good. And Ian, was there one player that you thought, I need to keep an eye on him from either of those events?
I think it's just all eyes really were on Lucas Bjerregaard again. He was excellent again. He had a slow enough start. I think he was +2 after the first round, and really climbed his way back into the tournament. Struck it great. Like some of the videos on Twitter of his drivers, like 405-yard drives. He's just a real classy player, and I think he's going to have a real strong finish to the year.
Steve, is there anyone that you've upgraded or downgraded as a result of last weekend?
I've upgraded Eddie Pepperell. I've not given him enough respect so far, and I like Jordan Smith. I think Jordan Smith's coming back to his best. I'm keeping a close eye on Jordan Smith over the next few weeks.
I followed Matt Wallace around, and he's obviously a massive talent and a winning machine, but he was a real animated, sort of lively fizz bomb of a player who's chuntering to himself and admonishing himself. Very emotional, but what do you think will happen with him next year, Steve? Because he's been such a star this year, hasn't he? Do you think he'll maintain his progression?
He is a very fiery character, isn't he? Yeah, I think he's the new Lee Westwood. I think he's going to have a career almost identical to Lee Westwood, win loads of European Tour events, but not quite do it in the biggest events. So,
wouldn't it be lovely to have a career like Lee Westwood, eh?
Well, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? Yeah, well, have a life like Lee Westwood. I mean,
would you rather be you or Lee Westwood?
Oh, of course, I'd rather be Lee Westwood. Lee Westwood's had a fantastic life, and he's got a lot of he's got a fantastic life ahead of him. No, without question, Lee Westwood.
Excellent stuff. Okay, then we will look ahead next to the CJ Cup.
Introducing Paddy Power's Beat the Drop. We're giving every customer 30 days free entry and £1,000 up front. It's up to you to keep it. All you have to do is answer 10 questions correctly. Play now at beatthedrop.paddypower.com.
Okay then, the first of the two tournaments we will look at this week is the CJ Cup. It's in South Korea, so don't forget, when the US Tour is in Asia, you need to get your bets on Wednesday. You used to be able to, obviously, when they're in the States, have a little wager on Thursday morning, but they tee off overnight on Wednesday, so get your bets on. A really good field. Ian, take it away with the latest show of betting from Paddy Power.
Sure, we're 7 places again this week in the CJ Cup. Justin Thomas heads are betting at 11-2. Brooks Koepka next in 8-1. Jason Day 11-1. Excuse me, Hideki Matsuyama 12-1. Mark Leishman 14-1 and 22-1 bar.
Horrible, that feeling, isn't it, when you're doing the postcast and you can feel your voice going like a Dalek and you just have to cough it all up. I thought you managed it well. It's a decent field, this one, Ian, isn't it? What did you make of Justin Thomas last week in terms of pricing him up for this week? Do you think he came with a rattle on the Sunday, didn't he? I suppose no negatives in that sense.
Yeah, I think he went off 9-2 last week. Obviously, with the likes of Koepka, Day, Matsuyama kind of bridging in the field, it kind of obviously pushes his price out slightly. I think he's a solid enough favourite. I don't think I'll be getting involved with the price, though. Who
will you be getting involved in? Give me your one main tip this week.
Main one is Louis Oosthuizen. I personally won't be getting too heavily involved in the CJ Cup at all, but I did like Oosthuizen at the prices. Excellent showing last week with a 5th place at the CIMB. For the week, he ranked 14th in driver accuracy, 9th in greens and regulation, and 12th in scrambling. So his tee to green game is in great shape. He's a previous winner in Asia, so won't be unfamiliar with the conditions. I feel it's a very solid each way play at 33-1.
Steve, before you give us your main tip, is this a slugger's paradise, or do you need to plot your way round?
The fairways are reasonably generous. It's strokes gained on approach is the stat I'm focusing on, because the targets are quite small on approach, and the greens are very undulating, so you want to be in the right spots to putt on them. So strokes gained on approach is the key. And last year's event, I don't know if you remember it, the first day was very calm, and then the next 3 days it got quite windy. So Justin Thomas was on the winning score after round one. He just he opened with a 9 under par score, and that was the leaderboard topper by the end of it. So it was a very, very queer event. And Justin Thomas last week, talk about Justin Thomas, he didn't slip out of second gear, did he? He's an effortlessly good golfer now, and I fear him greatly this week. But I don't think his price is big enough to justify getting involved. I prefer the favourite in the other event this week.
Who are you going to go with then for CJ Cup glory, Steve?
Yeah, I like Cameron Smith this week. I mean, Mark Leishman won last week. I think we could have another Australian winner this week. Smith's been threatening a US Tour breakthrough for a long time. He won a pairs event. He won the Zurich Classic pairs event with Jonas Blix last year. And he's won on his home tour. He won the Australian PGA in December. And finished third in 2 of the FedEx Cup playoff events. So he's been knocking on the door, and I like the way he played last week without getting fully in contention. He carded 4 rounds in the 60s, finished in 22nd place, nicely acclimatised in Asia. I only want to be backing players that played last week in the Simb. If you're jetting over now from America or another corner of the globe, and you didn't play in the Sim last week, I'm not interested in you because you're going to be sluggish. So Smith had a lovely warm-up last week, and he's my number one choice.
If he was the new someone, who is he? The new what? The new Jeff Ogilvy?
He looks a bit like David Lynn, doesn't he? He's got a similar frame to David Lynn. He's quite sort of thin and gangly, but he's got a huge future. I mean, he may not look, he doesn't look like a great athlete, but he finished 4th in the Masters in April. Sorry, 5th in the Masters in April. And he finished 4th in the US Open a couple of years back. So, he's proven himself in the highest company, and he's only 25. I think he's got a massive future ahead of him.
Jolly good. Ian, who else do you like?
I've one more to prop up Oosthuizen. That's Wee Kim. 4th on debut here last year. Won his last tournament played in Korea. Has shown good glimpses of play in his last 2 outings at the Safety Open and last week at the CIMB. Has played this course many times and knows like the back of his hand. And I thought he was worth a small play at 125-1.
Just the 2 this week?
Yeah, just the 2 in the CJ Cup.
Oh, get used.
Poor old Ian's under the weather. He's too ill to bet.
You didn't sound too bad, Ian. What's up?
No, he's told me. I spoke to him before.
You got a cold?
Yeah, I think it's the remnants of a flu starting. So yeah, I'll get home and get the dosage of the Lemsip going over here. So yeah.
Oh dear.
Would you rather be Wee Kim than Ian McLaughlin?
Me or Ian?
Both.
I'd probably want to be Wee Kim. He's got a much better bank balance than me, so I'd rather be Wee Kim.
I don't know why people hesitate on this.
Come off it. Money's not everything. Money's not everything at all.
Wee Kim's living the dream.
Yeah, but Ian is a lovely fella. I know Ian is a really nice fella. I'd rather be nice than wealthy. Ideally, he'd be both.
Wee Kim's a lovely fella.
Is he?
Yeah.
We'll have to try and find a professional golfer who we wouldn't rather be. Okay, we'll keep a lookout for that.
Yeah.
Right then, so just the two for Ian. He's going for Wee Kim and his main tip is Louis Oosthuizen. Steve, you've already gone for, blimey, I can't even remember. Oh, Cameron Smith. Who are you going to augment Smith with?
Well, he did all right for us last week without bringing home any bacon. It was Byong Hunan last week, if you remember rightly, and I give him an even better chance this week. He obviously playing in his homeland. He finished 13th in Kuala Lumpur last week. Closed with a nice round of 66. Again, he's fully acclimatised. He played an Asian Tour event prior to the Sim, and he's another one that's just been banging on the door of a US Tour breakthrough. He lost that playoff to Bryson DeChambeau in the summer, finished second to Dustin Johnson in the Canadian Open, and he's proven on this course. This is a keeper. He finished 11th in the CJ Cup last year, but this is without playing in the Sim the previous week. So I think with the advantage of playing in the warm-up event, he should go even better this year. So yeah. But Byong Hunan is the next best.
Okay, and the others?
And just one. I've just got three against the field. Another Korean, Siwoo Kim, who I was very surprised to see really deep down the betting this week. I mean, Siwoo Kim deserves the utmost respect. He's the player. Last year he won the Players' Championship with fifth major. It's his second US Tour win. And you can completely disregard what he did on this track last year. He finished 44th of 78 in this tournament last year, but he was really struggling for fitness as well as form. I mean, to put it into context, the previous week in the Sim last year, he finished 77th of 78 runners, so almost last in the Sim. And 12 months on, he's fit. He played nicely last week. He shot rounds of 66 and 65 over the weekend. So he's fit and in form, and this course suits. So Siwoo Kim is the third name.
And Steve, who would you rather be, Siwoo Kim or Wee Kim?
This is a great. You might have found the one player I don't want to be, because Siwoo Kim's dad is a bit domineering.
Oh really?
He tends to sort of crack the whip if Siwoo underperforms. So maybe my dad's fantastic. So maybe
you'd rather be Wee Kim.
I'd definitely rather be Wee Kim than Siwoo Kim, yeah.
Excellent, jolly good. And Ian, quick one, Brooks Koepka and Jason Day, obviously the second and third favourites behind Justin Thomas. Just give us a quick line on each of their prospects for this week.
Yeah, as Steve mentioned, jetting over from America to Korea, they probably are going to be a bit sluggish. It's kind of end of season for the two guys as well. It's kind of winding down. Of the two, I'd probably take Day over Koepka at the moment. If you give me a match bet, I'd probably back Day. Okay,
and talking of match bets, anything you like there, or top, Rhodesian or anything like that? Have you got anything further down the list?
No, nothing really, just those two bets for the week.
It's quite enough week. Steve, are we all done on the CJ Cup?
Well, if you could find Justin Thomas against Brooks Koepka, that would be a good one. I haven't looked at the match bets yet, but that would be a good option, because Koepka hasn't played there before, and Thomas obviously is the defending champion. So I think there should be a bigger gap between Thomas and Koepka in the outright betting.
OK, let's do the Andalucia Valderrama Masters next.
Introducing Paddy Power's Beat the Drop. We're giving every customer 30 days free entry and $1,000 up front. It's up to you to keep it. All you have to do is answer 10 questions correctly. Play now at beatthedrop.paddypower.com.
Right then, the European Tour heads from sunny and then wet and windy Walton Heath down to what I'm sure will be sunny and lovely Valderrama down in Sotogrande, southern Spain, for the Andalucia Valderrama Masters. Beautiful course, a legendary golf course now, and a legendary player heads the market, Ian McLaughlin.
He does. 7 places again this week. Sergio Garcia heads the market at 4-1. Shane Lowry at 11-1. Lee Westwood 18-1. Padraig Harrington 18-1. Soren Kjeldsen 18-1 and 20-1 bar.
Now, Steve, you're the experts. I'm just a guesser. But 4-1, Sergio, really?
Massive price each way still. I was delighted massive. When I was hearing you say it earlier. It is, because it's an each way bet to none. You get caught at the odds. You cannot possibly. What, Paddy Power going 5 to 7?
On.
I mean, you get caught at the 5. How can Garcia finish outside the top 5?
Of course he can. How many are in it?
Well, there's 126 players. You got about 30 of them that's like scrabbling for their card and struggling, because this is the last event for the top 110 to qualify for next season. So you can rule them out. They're just quaking in their boots, and then you go through this is a pitiful field.
I know, it's poor. I agree. When I saw Soren Kelsen fifth favourite, well,
exactly. Yeah, you've got a load of people who haven't won for ages just behind him in the bet. And Shane Lowry's been abysmal for the last couple of weeks. And he's just lost his US Tour card. I think Shane Lowry's got some serious mental problems at the moment, because he moved his family over to the States and then promptly lost his US Tour card. So, it's all gone wrong for him. I think he's the one that's shocking price this week. Shane Lowry. I think Garcia is an absolute gift. I think he should be 2-1 favourite. I wouldn't be laying anything bigger than that. Yeah, if you look at his course form, you won't find it's a standing dish. He's phenomenal at the Valderrama. It's his favourite course. His form figures are absolutely immense. He's only finished outside of the top 10 once in 13 starts. I hate it with the full fact. 13 starts, 2 victories, 3 runner-up spots, 8 top 5s, and 12 top 10s. He should be odds on. Well, he should be long odds on for a top 5.
Oh, I'm done. I'm done. You've convinced me, mate.
Yeah, I'm going in heavy on Garcia this week.
Yeah.
It's time. They're going to win back last week's losses, in very, very boring in many ways fashion. But if you have enough on it, it gets quite exciting.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because if you back a horse at 4-1, you think, wow, that was great. I've backed a real big price winner. Or a football team. You back a 4-1 football team, you think, oh, wow, I'm an absolute judge. But
yeah, absolutely.
4-1 is 4-1, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth here. This is the king of Valderrama, and his spirits are right up. He's a very mercurial talent, very moody man, but the Ryder Cup has really put him back on the straight and narrow. He was excellent in the Ryder Cup. He became the leading point scorer in Ryder Cup history. Now he got past Nick Faldo, and he hates Nick Faldo. It was a real buzz for him to get past Nick Faldo. So his tail is up. He's nicely rested. It all went wrong with Molinari last week. I hold my hands up. He admitted to some mental fatigue. I got that one wrong.
Wasn't he?
Yeah. I thought a week off was enough, but it clearly wasn't. But with Garcia, he hasn't played since the Ryder Cup. And he'll be nicely rested for this one.
Steve, who's our wisest colleague on the Racing Post?
Kevin Pillane is our wisest colleague. Yeah.
What does the soccer boffin do when he thinks something's too good to be true? He sits down and asks himself, and looks at what he might have got wrong that the bookies have got right. So if you were being the soccer boffin here, what would you do to try and think, hang on a sec, what have I missed here? Why are they making Garcia 4-1 when I'm making 2-1? Is there any negatives?
I think you've probably hit the nail on the head. It's because people don't like backing golfers at those prices, and he wouldn't be very popular with punters. I mean, Ian will tell me in a minute. I think that the price will be off-putting for the casual punter. I don't think there'd be many casual punters out there who'd be interested in playing at that price. But I think if you can just cobble together a decent stake, it's worthwhile.
You going win only or each way?
Sensible characters would be going each way. You'd be mad not to, so I'll be going win only.
Okay, Steve, give us your assessment of
Did you not get the punchline there? Boom, boom, boom.
No. Ian,
Sorry,
we've had the case for Sergio. What was the debate like with you and your fellow golf compadres when it came to Garcia? And when you looked at the field and how little he's got to beat?
Yeah, it was kind of how short you can go, and I think 4-1 was the baseline we kind of went for. As Steve said, Larry is in very poor form. You look at the next three in the bet, and Westwood, Harrington, Kelson, all journeymen. I'd like to say casual punters won't be getting involved in Garcia. They probably will now listen to Steve. They'll be a lot more inclined now. But he looks solid at 4-1. Again, I don't really like playing at those sort of odds, but Steve makes a very compelling case.
Well, who's your number one tip, Ian?
Number one's a little bit bigger price. It's Marcus Kinhult. Flying around 76 at Walton Heat on Sunday, dropping down to 48th place. That was in terrible conditions. That's kind of a bit of a smoke screen going into this week. Struck the ball great, finishing the top 30 for all key tee to green stats. Valderrama is a true ball striking test where you need to keep your ball and play off the tee. Kinhult's two best results this season are on courses where you need to do this: 12th at Wentworth in May and 5th at Le Golf National in June. In the past year, he's played in Spain 4 times on second tier tours, finishing 4th, 6th, 5th and 3rd. So obviously likes playing in the region. At 33-1, I thought he looked a very good bet this week.
Have you ever played Valderrama in?
I haven't. It's on the bucket list for sure. That and Walton Heath are the two now.
I hear
a racing post day out in Valderrama. That'd be great too.
I can't do Valderrama, but I hear that I mean, it'd be hopeless for me because they actually send someone to sort of watch you over the first couple of holes, and if you're an absolute hacker like I am, they just kind of politely usher you off the course. I can't think of anything more embarrassing, so I won't be going anywhere near that. Steve, Garcia's the main tip. Who are you going to go with as well as the main man, or is it all eggs in one basket?
Well, it's a lot of eggs in one basket. Just to narrow down those course form figures for you, his last 3 starts on the course are 1-3-1. And the 3 was in the Spanish Open, which was played in April. So his last 2 spins in October on this course have been 1-1. So I think he'll get the hat-trick of October Valderrama wins this week. But my number 2 choice, I was really struggling to find alternatives to the favourite this week.
We've never just tipped one, have we, for a proper full-field tournament?
No, we haven't, because we like to cater for, there's a lot of punters out there who wouldn't be interested in that sort of price. But my number 2 selection is Marcus Kinhult. So me and Ian McLaughlin can enjoy watching him finish second. A very good case for me, and not a lot for me to add. But this is a player, his style of play is ideal for Valderrama. He's very accurate, and he's had a spin round there. If he was a course debutant, I wouldn't be interested, but he finished 42nd there in 2016 in that Spanish Open I was talking about. And his record in Spain is fantastic. There's a couple of Nordic League events in Spain where he finished 4th and 5th last year, 6th and 3rd in the 2 Challenge Tour events, and he's a winner waiting to happen on the European Tour. And a couple of Swedes won the Volvo Masters, didn't they? And Pierre Fulker and Freddie Jakobsen both won the Volvo Masters at Valderrama. So I think this could be the 3rd Swede to threaten it at Valderrama.
Is it just the 2 then, Steve?
Then a very, very speculative small stake play on Alejandro Canizales, who's working his way back to form after wrist injury. He made his last 2 cuts. He's attached to Valderrama. He's the touring pro for Valderrama. It's his practice base. And he's played there 4 times in the European Tour, 21st, 7th, 11th and 36th. And he seems to raise his game in Spain. His best finish of this year is 12th in the Spanish Open. He's got some great record in Spanish events. Lost a player for the 2010 Mallorca Open, 3rd in the 2010 Spanish Open, 2nd in the 2012 Spanish Open. So, Alejandro Canizales always seems to come to the party in Spain. And if he's over that wrist injury, which the last 2 spins suggest he is, then I can see him placing. But you're playing for second place. Garcia's going to win by half the track, and then hopefully Kinhult and Canizales can finish 2nd and 3rd.
Go on, just to be flashed so we can do a clip of it for next week. How many shots will Garcia win by, Steve?
I think Sergio Garcia will finish, the weather's quite nice, isn't it? It's sunny and light breeze. I think he'll repeat what he did last year, 12 under par, and then Marcus Kinhult will finish 5 under par.
5 under, by 7 shots.
7 shots, and Alejandro Canizales, who you can tell I'm addicted to saying, will finish 3 under par.
Keep practicing, we might be able to understand who you're saying. Ian, who else have you got as well as Kinhult?
I have 2 more. Next one is Wade Ormsby. 29th last week was a decent performance at Walton Heath. A very accurate player, excuse me, off the tee, so he'll be able to put himself in position to attack the small greens of Valderrama. Was 5th here last year. Has a 9th and a 15th place finish at his other 2 appearances in the Spanish Open, so again likes playing in the region. He looks very solid at 6-6-1. And the last one was Eduardo Molinari. Looks to be gradually coming back to form. 24th at the Alfred Dunhill Links and 16th last week at Walton Heath. Ranked highly in driving accuracy and greens and regulation. 2 key attributes needed this week at Valderrama. His last win was in April of 2017, the Trophy Hassan, a course with similar characteristics to Valderrama. He'll complete my staking plan this week at 100-1.
If you were Eduardo Molinari, and do you think you'd be just completely undiluted joy at Francesco's rise this year, or would you be slightly sort of pissed off, a little bit, why him and not me?
Yeah, I'd be massively jealous.
You would, yeah?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I think it'll affect him if it goes down the stretch. Because if he gets in contention for a tournament now, all they'll be talking about is his brother, and there'll be spectators at the course actually going, "Oh, is that him? Is that him?" And he'll sort of look over and see him pointing at him, and then they'll know that they've mistook him for Francesco. It must be very humiliating, really. I mean,
would you rather be you or Eduardo Molinari, Steve?
I'd rather be Eduardo Molinari, yeah, without question.
Okay. Any other bets you want on the Andalucia Valderrama Masters? Any tops, any 3 balls, any match bets, Ian?
No, happy enough with the outrights.
All done? Steve, all done?
When you got 4 bags on Garcia, there's not a lot left for anything else.
Is that how much you're having on him? 4 bags?
Yeah. The time is now. Yeah, I'm fed up of losing.
How are you going to feel on Sunday if he doesn't win? Will you go to the pylon?
I just focus on the following week. I'm confident that October is traditionally a good month for me, My figures are very impressive in October, so I'm confident before October's out, then the big potatoes will come home.
Okay, well, let's hope you're informed tomorrow, because we're playing down at Goodwood, aren't we? Looking forward to that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Set fair. Okay, what have we got next week? It's the HSBC, isn't it, Steve?
That's it, yeah, the HSBC, and I think Justin Thomas, is skipping that again this year. His schedule, he plays the Sim, and then he plays the CJ Cup, and then he skips that one, which is very odd. Not many other players take that route, but I suppose that makes Justin Thomas more focused on this one. So you must respect the favourite this week.
And Steve, any fun stuff coming up between now and next Wednesday's Postcast?
No. I'm a family man. We don't have fun. What are you talking about?
So I don't know.
We're very morose today. Ian's under the weather, and we're all a bit under the cosh today.
Oh, Ian, are you going to take a day off sick, or do you not play that sort of music?
No, on the grindstone, keep it going, keep trucking along. I'm in all week for Valderrama, but I love Valderrama as a course, so it'd be a pleasure to trade it this week.
Brilliant, good stuff. That's what I like to hear. Very upbeat. Thank you very much, lads. Hope you're both back next week. I'm back on Thursday for the football postcast. On Friday, the guys are looking ahead to a great weekend of racing, obviously including Champions Day at Ascot. And then we are back next Wednesday. Don't forget, if you enjoy these shows, please do rate, review and subscribe on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes or on any other platform you are listening to us. Until next time, goodbye.
Introducing Paddy Power's Beat the Drop. We're giving every customer 30 days free entry and $1,000 up front. It's up to you to keep it. All you have to do is answer 10 questions correctly. Play now at beatthedrop.paddypower.com.